Yo guys, this is a 2-in-1 matchup guide. So, what I really want to point out is that we run Grasp of Undying here as runes of Grasp, Demolish, Second Wind, we have Overgrowth, Last Stand, and Legend Alacrity, and this is a 2-in-1 video. You know those top shop ads where they say like there's like a 2-in-1 option if you buy it now. So, we're gonna review Volibear and the Akali matchup as well. Now, Akali is not too difficult. Same logic, do not disrupt your enemies when they're doing mistakes. So this is what people quite often do. You could even like cancel your last hit, pretending you wanna push, so she wants to like somewhat even it. Some people do that. You could also cancel it. And so what she does, she is also like sort of last hitting with her Q. Otherwise I could spin on her. And what's interesting is that now, what's gonna happen? Her short trades are not necessarily bad on Q. But what's gonna happen now, guys? The minion's gonna slightly aggro me. That kinda sucks a little bit, right? But 3 minions alive, 2 minions alive. I'm in position to step up and walk into her face and zone her off of what? XP. Perfect. Now watch, this minion dies. She's not in XP range. She wants to walk back, she wants to trade. That's fine. She has 23 base armor, really low, less AD than I do. So she has less stats to fight me. And look, she wants a minion, she wants a minion, she wants a minion XP. She does get it, but it doesn't give her level 2. And what do we get now, guys? What do we get now? We get level 2 faster than her. Observe, 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 observe the blue minions and the red minions. Sweet level 2. Now, mind you, she doesn't place TP. She plays Ignite. So, anytime you see someone playing Ignite, it's really important that you actually commit for a really fast spin flash, like a really fast one. So by the time the animation started from here into flash, so you want to do it really quickly. The spin connects, Spacey connects, and even if it wouldn't crit, if she flashes, you could ignite after her. So in that case scenario, she would die regardless, in case you don't get the lucky crit. And now what's really good about this matchup is that, look, here she gonna lose plenty of CS on her tower. I should my last hit a little bit better, so my last hits were a bit chopped actually here. Which didn't really give me the best possible like recall, but still, we got a nice plate as well. And guess what happened, dude? Like, this guy sat topside after that's crazy. Like, this guy sat topside, and I sadly got ganked by Skarner, but it would just be amazing. He actually even like contested the proxy and all that, so maybe if I didn't give my spin, but or maybe if I didn't get pushed under tower, but it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough, but this is still totally fine though for us. And I don't know why Aatrox didn't like really seal camps like reps or something. I don't know. It's a bit weird though, in my opinion, but okay. But it's not really our concern currently. So what do we do now? What do we do now? The goal is very simple. As we saw her pushing the whole thing in, we have 2 long swords of advantage. That's plenty of damage and refillable, so we have sustain as well. And now what's very important to understand is she wants to recall, because why does she want to recall, guys? What did we see in her inventory that could potentially lead her into pushing the wave in and recalling, which obviously we hold, is that she has now gold to spend on items, if it makes sense. So she actually does damage, because before buying her, let's see, 2 M-tomes, blasting 1, 2 M-tomes, she doesn't do that much damage, right? Now, because she chose to recall and didn't contest the wave, which would be a bit tough, because now she's lane locked again with no items. So that's like the idea, like if she wouldn't be, she's also kind of like lane locked, and that kind of like also sucks, you know, for not having items. Now, in here, what's very important to understand is that we have an XP advantage, which means that we're gonna hit level, what? Level 6 faster. So, and what do you wanna do? At level 5, when you're closing up to level 6, preferably you shouldn't die, you should go for really nice happy trades. Tracker W cooldown 20 seconds, right? It's really important to know the cooldowns. Pressing W a little bit late, but it should be fine. And what happens now? we connected our W, right? We use our ignite. I could be refillable a bit faster, if anything, that should be 100%. But what's happening? Even though she has a minion wave, you gotta remember her Q is spammy, 1.5 second cooldown, but it has a hidden cooldown mechanic, so at the beginning of the game, 110 energy, 1000, then it goes down by 10 for each point, she's Q maxing all the time. So there is an extra cooldown on this ability, which means that her energy bar, she gets 10 energy per second, I believe. It has to reach 100, you know. So eventually this Q gonna have a really long cooldown. Now, Inira was a bit over chasing, sadly for no reason, because for no avail I couldn't even catch her. We have really bad amount of like mobility to catch up there, but we are pushing the wave. I'm glad Riot Games nerfed Tryndamere C damage in the past, so you just can't wave clear. In some case scenario, right? Like that's 5 damage really had to be nerfed. Now in here we don't spin in because she could E and W, so she could technically outplay that. But what we are fishing for is what exactly, guys? Level 6. We don't particularly want to be caught by her E, but now it wouldn't really be a concern because we are too healthy. And observe, we're gonna be level 6 really fast before she even hits her own level. And look, we are trying to cancel. That's totally fine. She can't all us even if she hits her E. And dude, like the good part is Olivia is here for no reason because they kinda run it bot lane. Now she's coming top, but you don't necessarily need an Olivia to dive this guy. The only problem is that this Karnar is also sitting on top side. Meantime, my bot is running it, so this game was a little bit sad. That's what I mean. We still won it. It's just that Spin could also connect, but a bit of a misplay on my part. I think I misplayed something slightly as well here. I didn't assume, by the way, Karnar will come. That was a little bit on me, but something I misplayed along. I think I missed my spin, sidestepped, I guess. But I didn't basic. I think I was staring at her. That could have been crit and kill. So I think that was a big mistake on my part. And then I think she perfectly predicts my E, or she just like presses. I don't know if she actually know it, but it seemed like maybe she wanted to go for Anivia, but she E'd at the same time. So I think she didn't really predict it. She just wanted to go for Anivia. But all of that aside, yeah, we got a little bit ganked, but we still have, let's say, we still have like a 300 gold advantage from minions and plates, if anything, you know. Now you're gonna go Tiamat so you can actually trade into her. And fun fact, you know, like with Tiamat you can short trade a bit better due to the activatable. And if she ever goes invis and you wanna like trade into her, by chance if you need to, you know what you could do, dude? You could literally hit the minions and they could poke her while she's invis. I think I cancelled. No, I didn't cancel a basic. I was a bit misplayed on my part. And now she's brute forcing to cancel my, but she's losing minions. And again, sadly, this Karnar is again like, that was quite frustrating. I couldn't even queue in time. That's so sad, right? That was quite frustrating in game. But let's keep it beyond that, right? So we can also again like show some of the negatives as well, you know, where things go certainly wrong. So for you, this could be even better, you know, if you don't get ganked or your jungle ganks you. So there are better case scenarios where you get that Rabanus faster, pressure that Akali more steel camps. But I still kind of like to show games that are a little bit more dicey and less so much in my favor. Because there are games where you are also getting camped, right? So it's not always realistic for you to... I mean, you could like respect ganks a little bit better or you could this and that, but you could get ganked, you know. In here, she's trying really hard to like sort of contest it, and as we speak, she commits. We outplay her with our R. She commits. She thought we will not be able to react, so it's a bit of a reaction time check. When she's in close range, it's harder to react. When she's in long range, it's easier. So mind you, as soon as you hear the ha sound when she jumps, that's where you should like press R. It's a very fast ability. But, you know, notably, what's really important to understand is that I will even die for this tower, which is totally worth because Akali got whatsoever no pushing power. And this is the first tower of the game which they could potentially get on the enemy team, but we got it. And we got 470 gold. We chip her down a little bit. We do give out a little bit gold as well to this Akali, that's true. did I have TP? I didn't have my TP thingy. So we got a little bit of MR, we go Ravenous, we will go eventually like Mercs. But at this point laning phase is kind of over, so we saw the more chaotic parts. We also saw, like as I said, she barely has any push. We saw the more chaotic parts, we saw the less chaotic parts, but the important thing is that, you know, you do go Grasp, don't go Halo Blades, it's complete phase, same as Lethal Tempo. It's not as bad as Hope, but still not as good as Grasp, if it makes sense. Lee Shield always very consistent, and just aim to like use your Tiamat quite often into her, and just pay attention. Definitely use your W because it reduces her AD, and her Q scales with AD, her E, her R, so it does actually like reduce her ability damage as well, even though like she does magical damage in particular, so keep that in mind. Especially if they go this Gunblade AD build, right? They have source of AD. But yeah, let's get into the Volibear matchup. As I said, it's like a 2-in-1 matchup guide. Freak all of those champs, right? Now, the other matchup is also particularly hard, as I noticed. Grasp does nothing into Volibear. Halo Blades does even less, because you proc it, he stuns you, you're fucked. Lethal Tempo. No, Lethal Tempo. I think this was the Vayne game. That was pretty pathetic, actually. This is the Volibear game, right? Now, thing about Volibear. What's the thing about Volibear? His all-in is pretty strong, his level 1 is pretty weak. Now, what you have to understand is that past level 3, it's just impossible to get a good all-in into him. Like, if you spin into him, and you try to all-in him, he's gonna just kill you. Like, that's how stat check it a champion is, sadly. Like, his short trades are also a bit insane if he connects everything at once. So quite often you have to actually, like, predict his Q and spin away, so he doesn't connect the rest of his kit, if it makes sense. And try to like sort of mind game his E, if it makes sense. So like, you don't necessarily want to like spin into him like ever, unless like he has like cooldowns or whatnot. So let's just jump straight up into the game. So as I said, level 1 you're pretty decent, you're pretty strong, but this guy also went D-Blade. In an all-in it has similar damage as a ring, but you know, pretty strong both ways. And as we can see, we are slow pushing, denying as much CS as possible, missing one Acido, and his E is only 15.53 second. I think this guy actually goes on cooldown. Yep. So W is like lower, actually his Q is actually lower on cooldown. So normally this would be more. So it does look like I didn't actually calculate that in game at all. I didn't actually think about that, but that's on me. And as we speak, we are slow pushing. Now, what happens here is that you could proxy, because technically what we could actually like really nicely spot is that he's stuck on the wave. He's looking to get those last hits, and if he tries to contest this, I also gonna hit level 3 faster. And you're gonna do some CS slowly to the tower, so it's a bit shitty for him to contest. And as we speak, we just like go for this cute little proxy. That's something at least we get to have here. And you like, the only thing that I would be concerned of is if the enemy jungler would pat top lane, but if you check Krugs, you could see that he's patting both sides, so you should ideally check that. And we got level 4. I was trying to set up something, but it did ward. That was a bit unfortunate. So the reason why I'm fighting this hard here, I'm spinning away, right? So we are fighting there because I'm really trying to bait him into Eve, but then again it's a little bit shitty. So like, this matchup does require you to get some ganks or try to proxy, because solo you can't really beat the Volibear. He's that strong, right? He's that strong. So you have to rely on some misplace on his part. Or B scenario, you just really have to get ganked, you know. After level 6 you'll find some all-in windows, but as you guys can see, I can't even basic spin, I have to spin. And I almost died to his ignite. God damn, I flashed in time at least. But you'd like, this is what I want to showcase as well, bad parts, where you know, if he all-ins you, this is what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna also show you guys how to like play a little bit better around his kit. So we skip forward, we spin forward, you don't need to heal fully, you don't need to stay that much in the base, because your Q already heals you by default. So by the time you reach lane, press your Q again, whatnot, and you'll be able to get like maybe like a nice proxy. But we don't really have time, because sadly the minions already arrived and Volibear is also kind of fucking around. So There's really no time for that, but at least I baited him downwards or walking downwards, which made him lose some CS on their tower. And still, he's building what exactly? Blasting Wand, a lot of damage. By the way, he has even more disgusting amount of damage. That's an insane power spike. So, as a perspective, 7% attack speed, 5 times. That's actually 75 attack speed, plus 45 magic damage, which is amped by his press the attack. So, also, like, you have less, by the way, Immortal Armor, just saying. So his passive is, like, insanely strong. Same as his other abilities, we can see them, like, they are really strong. As we can see, as we speak. His W heals insanely a lot, 246 damage, plus healing. So, as we can see, we can't go for too many heavy trades anymore. Just because he's level 6, and guess what? Well, I'm not level 6, right? So... a bit tired, but now we hit level 6 though. He has no ghost, remember, he has flash, he has no ghost, he has orb, but now we actually have a lot of like fury. With W we spin away from his E, and he doesn't connect the shield into himself. I ignite before he gets his second W off. The reason why I'm basing the minions, I know it looks stupid as fuck, but the reason why I do it is to reset my spin of potential crits, but it never really critted. So I'm not sure what's the better, to not gamble the basic attack and walk forward, or to gamble the basic attack and spin in, but it felt like this guy was about to walk away, so this case scenario I would say maybe it would be a bit better if I walked actually, instead of trying to like reset it off the basics. So after 6 you get better angles, if it makes sense. I didn't even have to use my orb, I just got a nice all-in into this guy. So if he goes Blasting One, which most of them will go for this new Dusk and Dawn item, then you can fight nice all-in angles. If he rushes Plated Steel Caps, then yes, it's a bit harder to like deal with him, but at least like your short trades and your proxies could be a bit more potent because he does less damage. Sadly, my recall was a little bit greedy because I recalled on a ward and he cancelled it, so that got a little bit awkward. Because at that point I would already have Tiamat, so now I'm a bit stuck again in lane, but that should not be the end of the ward. And as you can see, it does like brute force and all in, but if you're low on health and you have aura, you could be a nice bait for an Eve gank. Well, I did say that, right? So now we could avoid his E. He uses his E. When he raises his hand, it means that he uses his E. And as you can see, he does brute force and all in, and he ignites me even. So we got 2 of these things out at once. Could have flash basically, to be fair, but now we are baiting him with W team, and now I'm gonna also walk up just to smoothen this gank out. Oh no, I'm actually spacing really well. Then I commit just in case, like, it gets a little bit more dicey just in case I have to go in, I commit. And the good thing is, what do we get now, guys? Again, just a lot of value, just because we got this Volibear kill. We already got 2 plates, so this is like particularly, you want to deal with him quite often. If he's about to Q you, if you predict it with your E, you could look for some basic trades after. If he doesn't mark you with his W, of course. Kind of a fucky ability, right? And as time passes, this game is also like getting quite interesting. So once you have your Tiamat, if he has bone plating by chance, then it will be easier to proc it. But we got a whole profane, not even Tiamat here, right? So it's like a huge power spike item. Usually if you're ahead, that's like really ideal. Because like the snowball potential, the proxing power and all that is super good. I really like profane as well if I'm ahead, and I'm looking to get like a power spike item, you know, quick spike item out of Tiamat, while also like something that also makes sense and it's cheaper than Ravenous and does more damage if it makes sense. So you kind of cook with that. And then you go Yuntal for DPS purposes. Now he is still dead, DP-less Volibear, and so what happens here? We get most of his plates, which is super fine. And what you want to do, you can wipe the wave in no time with your... Do I just not hit the wave? I think I'm trying to get the force tower, but it's not really possible. I think I wasn't hitting the wave in time, but I think it might be fine regardless, because we get the whole thing in. Am I correct? Yep, am I correct? I'm totally correct. And now, there's a fight here in particular, but we are not really able to, like, do anything, actually. Nothing. Except picking up this, like, grub. So, it's not a lot, but it's something. And, like, what do we do here? We just like pick these up. Nothing special. Nothing special. This is how we should spin away from his QE, so he doesn't get like enough value out of it. Then he has like pretty long cooldowns like such. There's like normally you would have longer cooldowns, but this guy does have like cooldown runes. But at this point we get to like pretty nicely brute force. Sadly he does ignite, and we also get shot by the tower, but we basic him before he gets to like W click us. Yeah, like it got a little bit weird when I tanked the tower shot and he ignited, I ain't gonna lie, but we still wiped him before he gets to like even get his W off. And at this point again, like we got the whole matchups off. This tower's completely gone. I'm a bit tired, but I was like, I'ma do one clip, you know, guys. That's it for now, guys. Have a nice day, y'all.